Right, we're recording.
Okay, thank you. Welcome to the meeting of the Executive Cabinet Member for Culture Portfolio. Today is Monday, 30th of March 2026, and the time has just gone 5:31. I'm Councillor Nadeem Ayub, the Executive Cabinet Member. On this meeting, there are council members and council officers. So, running down the agenda, first item on the agenda is the monitoring of the Executive Cabinet Member decisions. Is there anything to come off, Vicky? Oh, I can't see it. You're on mute. You're on mute if you're talking.
Sorry, no, they both can stay on for now.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for that. Any questions on them decisions from anybody? Nope, can't see any indicators. Moving on to the next item. Director of Corporate Resources Budget Report 26/27. Jan, is it you're going to be taking through that report?
Yes, please, Chair. If that's what I'll do it, please. Yeah. So this report is the Directorate of Corporate Resources that follows the Council's full budget report that was presented in February 2026. This report forms part of the final stage of the corporate process for 26/27. The report outlines changes in the revenue budget resulting in a budget of 26/27 of 43.573 million for the Directorate of Corporate Resources. For this portfolio, it's 6.073 before savings. The Directorate has been given a 25/27 savings target of just short of 1.5 million with a 2-year allocation of £717,000. Just to note, there have been no additional savings allocated as part of the 26/27 savings programme. The portfolio has a 2-year savings programme. In year 2, the saving is for library, museums and archives, and a separate report will be shared with members in quarter 3. The capital programme for 26/27 for the Directorate is £15.5 million, and for this portfolio it's £4.169 million. The Executive Cabinet Member is asked to note the contents of the report and approve the recommendations set out in section 12 that relate to this portfolio, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Janet. Any questions from anybody on that report? Nope, can't see any indicators, so that report has been noted. Thank you, Janet. Okay, next item is the Director of Place Strategic Budget Report 26/27. Again, over to you, Janet.
Yeah, thank you very much. So this report is for the Directorate of Place and follows the Council's full budget report presented to Council in February 26. This report forms part of the final stage of the corporate business planning process. The report outlines changes in the budget, resulting in a 26/27 revenue budget for the Directorate of Place of £35.9 million. For this portfolio, the budget is £3.7 million before savings. The Directorate had been allocated a 25/27 savings target of just over £1 million. The year 2 allocation of that programme was 600,000. There are no additional savings been allocated as part of the budget for 26/27. Section 4 of this report outlines the savings programme and sets out options to achieve the savings target and receive approval from the Executive Cabinet Member. For this portfolio, the savings amount to £400,000 and they are to do with relate to leisure and services to schools. The 26/27 capital programme for the Directorate of Place is £45.2 million. However, this portfolio does not have a capital programme. Section 6 provides details of any fees and charges that are proposed that vary from the underlying budget assumptions, which was 2%. For this portfolio, there are proposals to increase the leisure fees and charges. The Executive Cabinet Member is asked to note the contents of the report and approve the recommendations set out in section 9 that relate to this portfolio. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Janet. Open the floor again for any questions from anybody. Nope, can't see any indicators. So again, thank you. That report has been noted and approved. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the Leisure Centre Capital Works Programme. John, are you going to take us through this one? John, you're frozen.
Sorry, John Gregory is down to
John Gregory, yeah.
is
John
down
Gregory.
to lead on the report.
Yeah, he is, and he's frozen. I think he might be having some technical issues.
Yeah. Let me just see if he's available without screen.
Yeah, he might want to just take his camera off if that helps.
Yes.
Oops.
I'll take you through this one. I'm going to turn the camera off, though.
Yeah, that's fine, John.
I'm going to turn the camera off. Hang on. Yeah. Is that any better? I mean,
That is better. We can hear you. Yes, you are audible,
I'll turn
John
the camera.
Gregory. Oh, he keeps on coming in and out.
Okay, so can you hear me now?
We
Is
can
that okay
hear
for a
you.
mobile connection? Are you okay? Oh, okay.
Chair, would it be helpful
Can
if
you hear me?
I maybe
Okay.
step in if John's having
Right.
connection
Yeah,
problems?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's cutting you out there. So, John, we'll let John Dyson run through the report. Go on, John.
Yeah, thanks. I may not perhaps quite do it the same justice as John. John will, just because he's been across the detail, but obviously a copy of the report has been circulated in advance of the this evening's meeting. This report principally follows the recent procurement exercise that we've moved through in relation to future leisure provision, and as part of that process there was an assessment of the condition of the kind of structure fabric of the buildings that we operate as part of the contract. This is the 5 leisure centres that we are referring to. A small number of works packages have been delivered to date, which bring into play or address matters rather relating to statutory compliance. So this might be in relation to fire door refurbishment, fire replacement of air conditioning units, for example, in the fitness suites and dance studios. But the report is principally focused upon replacements of handling units which serve both the main and teaching pools at Farnworth and West Horton leisure centres. That they are, for want of a better word, time expired, having been in play now for over 40 years, and of course that brings with it a significant maintenance liability, which could certainly compromise the ability to operate both facilities in the future. And what we're trying to mitigate against here is obviously disruption to service, and in the worst case scenario, the potential for those facilities to have to close or close in part. So the report sets out, as I say, the proposals in relation to works to air handling units, LED lighting replacement proposals, which actually will deliver greater revenue savings moving forward as a consequence of them being a more efficient lighting system, and a broader allocation for backlog maintenance. And again, just to reiterate, members, this follows inspection and survey work conducted as a component part of the procurement exercise in order to establish any liabilities as we move into new arrangements. A report was previously considered, which is referenced in this report, which set out a £3 million allocation to fund these works, and in essence we are now bringing forward this report, Councillor Ayoub, to yourself as executive cabinet member in order to seek your approval, as I say, to move forward with the work set out in the report, and hopefully to grant approval, as I say, in order that we can make that continued investment in the 5 leisure centres, and through delegations to myself, can then negotiate and award contracts following procurement processes to, as I say, undertake or award and undertake those works. So I think a short summary. John may have covered a little bit more detail, but I think the detail does sit within the report. And between hopefully John and I, if there are any questions, then happy to respond. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, John, for that. Yeah, the report was circulated to members and should have had the opportunity to have a read through that. And you did a great job as well, John, covering that. So thank you very much for that. Any questions from anybody on that report? Okay, I can't see anybody indicating. In that case, that report has been noted and approved as per the recommendation. Vicky, thank you for that. And that it brings us to the end of the agenda. Can I thank everybody for joining and see you all next time.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you.